What's up, y'all? It's the Macism with a quick live stream Let's Play, just covering some of the things that patch 1.08 broke. Still waking up. I kind of wake up late. Well, no, yeah, my body's still waking up. I woke up around 11, 7 a.m. So it's right now, pretty early for me to live stream it, but I figured I'd get out the way. Otherwise, I got stuff to do for the rest of the day. And I'll probably forget about covering this, or my Wi-Fi will be really, really shitty later in the day. Right now, my Wi-Fi is on tilt. So let's get this covered. The major thing that the patch broke is exporting your wrestler from My Rise. Now, when you go through My Rise, you know, you get points to build up your wrestler's attributes and things like that. Granted, you don't get the percentage bonuses. The percentage bonuses when you do some of the extra match, you know, side matches where it boosts up specific skills like your punching, your kicking, or your body and stuff like that. Those bonus points, you don't retain them when you export your wrestler. But what you do get is the core stats that you build up. The cool thing about My Rise is, like, you can export your wrestler at any time, and whatever stats you boosted up, well, attributes you boosted up during the course of that story, when you export them, they do retain those. Now, I'm pretty much in chapter 4 of the My Lock storyline with my wrestler. So I tried to export him to see what his rating would be. Because I figured by the time I get done, he might be like a 99 rated wrestler. See, I'm in chapter 4 right now. He's a 92. So when I export him, he should be like maybe an 87 or an 88. Because, like I said, the bonuses, you don't retain those when you export them. But this is what I'm talking about. When you export your wrestler, I don't know, maybe they patched it on the low key overnight. But before I went to bed last night, this is one thing I did notice that kind of grinded my gears a bit. And he should be a 75. Which is the rating that you start out with when you go through My Rise. Unless you get a mod where there's some people uploading like in-game wrestlers to use in My Rise. Unless you really, really want a challenge in going through My Rise, I don't condone getting one of those mods with the in-game wrestler, because they start out at a low rating in 30. And when you port them into My Rise, they're going to start out as a 30. And you only build up your attributes by +2. So by the time you go through My Rise, all your attributes are going to go up by only 10 points. 10 points. So your wrestler's probably just going to be like a rated 40 or 50 superstar by the time you export them with the hacked, you know, in-game wrestler My Rise mod. See, here's what I'm talking about. He's a 75. So when you port like a created wrestler into My Rise, they're going to be a default 75. And when I exported him, he's a default 75. I exported him before when he was like, I think at 88. And he came out as an 85 when I exported him. This was before the patch. This is after the patch. As you can see, when I go back to My Rise, in My Rise, he's a 92. I exported him, he's a 75. Now you may ask, well, maybe they patched the game to where you have to beat My Rise in order to get their max attributes. I was thinking that too. You know, why not? Maybe they made it, more challenging. They forced you to beat, you know, the My Rise, either the Legacy or the Lock, in order to get all your stuff, so you don't, export your character early and give up on playing the mode. Well, I did that with my LJ Akira call. The story is complete, and I tested it and I export her. So let's export her. And I exported her before. I do have her complete version. She came out as a 93 rated wrestler. But when I export her now, so I exported her. And the recent one I exported is a 75. So yes, folks, the patch broke the export function of My Rise. Now granted, playing My Rise still works, it still functions. I played it last night with my sweet chorizo wrestler. That's how I find out about this bug when I try to export them. Because what I plan to do, I was going to make that his I guess his regular version I was going to use in the WWE. Once I completed it, I know he's probably going to be maxed out. Even at an 85, when I exported him before, he beats the hell out of main eventers, and he's a super heavyweight. And he has he has high striking and grapple. His durability is decent, but the thing about super heavyweights, they have the weight advantage, so they don't get hurt as easily, and plus they can brush off like weak grapples, light grapples. They can brush them off. They can push smaller wrestlers off of them if they're not in the same weight class. So that, even though his reversal stats and defense is low, just because that he has that super heavyweight advantage, he's pretty OP. I did some simulations with him. He runs through the main eventers. He beat Roman Reigns in a computer simulated match. I think I did about 6 matches. He went 3-3 against Roman Reigns. And he's like, I think 100 or a 99 rated wrestler in this game. So even at 85, he's OP on hard difficulty simulations. Because he has that super heavyweight advantage. And he has those high stats. High attack. His speed is decent for a guy who's almost 400 pounds. Pretty OP for a dude that's almost 400 pounds. But yeah, My Rise export function is busted. The patch broke it. Another thing the patch broke, I think I covered it in my last live stream, is I know one of the popular uploaders on Community Creations. Well, he's not overly popular, but he's been covered by a couple of channels I watch because he uploads very creative modded arenas. And it sucks to be this guy. I don't know how his modded arenas work on console. I mean, not on console, on the PC. But I'm going to download this one. I believe I downloaded it not too long ago. And once you make it a show, and I make sure to turn entrances off, because some of his stuff, is glitchy when entrances are turned on. So where's that show? So I made it a SmackDown show, I believe. Where is it? Where is it? It's like buried in here somewhere. So that's the pit one. What's the other one? I could have sworn I had another one. Alright, I'm just gonna start all over and download one of his arenas. But I believe that the recent patch broke any modded arenas. So you download any of these guys, you know, arenas where they have excessive props around the ring or in the ring. They don't work. They appear as normal arenas when you play them. So I'm going to download this one and make it a show. As you can see, his download number of his arenas has dropped because I think people realize this. The weird thing is, if you go to create an arena or try to make it a show and you go into the arena itself, I think I could show that. Let me go to arena first, edit. I remember I went on one person's video and kind of talked shit about the New Day arena he posted. I admit it's very creative, but you can have a serious match in it. The funny thing is, it's like the patch got rid of all the excessive props. The one prop they wish they would have kept is the big ass cereal box where the announce table is. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about on the New Day arena. So it's all glitchy. It will move any ring logos. I noticed with the WrestleMania 39 arena, as you can see, you go into, I think it's stage display or construction. And then, so you notice he has all these props, right? So I click on a prop. It's like I'll select it and I'll back out and it'll pop up, right? So it's all glitchy. Another YouTuber I follow, well, he's a live streamer. He live streams his little simulated wrestling feds with all created content. And he talked about this as well. Where it's like you'll go through here, you like click on the items, and then you'll back out and they'll pop up, right? And so you're like, okay, accept, and you save it. So I already have this set up as a show, but let me see if I start a new show with it to see what happens, and I'll delete it later. I don't know if I just saved it or made it a show. Let's see. Okay, so now it's a show. New Day Arena, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so. Because I made it a show last time, and it got rid of all the props. So here it is. Here's the newly made show I made with the New Day Arena. This is the old one. It's weird because you see the prop in the photo, but when you start the match, it's no longer there. But here, let me start a match up in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Make sure entrances are off. Now, granted, 2K is a corporation. This could have been done on purpose. As far as cock blocking modders from messing with the in-game code, because really you're not supposed to mess with in-game code. It's in the ULA agreement. Now, granted, you know, manipulating props is not changing the code or whatever. But companies hate it when you fuck with their games. So as you can see, there is no props. There is no props in the background. I do like the lighting in this arena though. The lighting in this arena is very, very good. I like the lighting. It's very cool. Very, very cool warm colors. I'm surprised the logo's stuck in the ring. But that's because I did that. I made that change before. The logo in the ring, all the logos and stuff on the rings on the mat was gone as well. So I reapplied like the Booty-O's logo in the middle of the ring. So basically I just got the changed arena that I tweaked. But yeah, the props do not show up at all. And I don't know what he did to bring all the props in there. So yeah, any modded arenas you download with lots of props outside the ring or around the ring or near the ring, yeah, those arenas get reverted back to normal arenas because of the recent patch. It was done on purpose. I believe it was done on purpose. It's like, I think on the low end of things for 2K to fix, that would be one of the last things that would be on their list. So it sucks for people, uploaders who do that type of content to make pretty crazy arenas visually. Yeah, and some of these arenas got covered on various YouTube channels, but now they're pretty much useless. Another glitch issue I noticed, but I think this existed before because I've seen it, is just a heads up for people like me and people who like to make Titantron videos. There are some issues with the video editor. The video editor, for the most part, works perfectly fine. As far as making Titantron videos, I haven't tested if it crashes like it did before. I have to make a test later, because it would crash if you try to, let's just say you decide to make a highlight clip, and then you want to take that highlight clip, you go out the match and you go to the video editor to make a highlight clip, it would crash your game when you try to convert it to a video. Now you can do that by pausing the game in the match and doing in the actual match, you can convert it to a video clip. That's how you would avoid the issue from the game crashing, by doing it in your match. Pause the game, doing it in your match. And so I would advise you guys to do that. But one thing I did notice with the Titantron movies is like you have these gaps. I made about 9 of them, and they're all out of whack. They're misnamed. They're all there, but they're all, you know, misnamed and out of order. This may say this Titantron movie, but it's somebody else's, and then I clicked on Sexy Kitties and this is her Titantron video. So like, that's going to be all out of whack. I don't know if that's due to the patch, because I noticed that issue before, especially like me, if you use the old tactic in 2K19 where you'll copy your Titantron video to a spot, because in 2K19 they had a limit. They only gave you, I think, 350 megabytes to use for Titantron videos, and the way you kind of bypass that restriction was you would copy your Titantron videos and then create over the ones you copy. That's how you would bypass that 350 megabyte limitation in 2K19 when making Titantron videos. I don't know if anything else is busted, but those are things I noticed. There was some early game jank, especially with you have the pre-match animations where your wrestlers are in their corner and they may do like a little stretching animation or whatever. Like, in created arenas, I haven't tried it in regular arenas. If you use the one where they're relaxing or lying on top of the top rope, like they're lying down, for some reason the in-game character model would just phase through the top rope and almost go through the ring. Almost phase through the ring during that animation, and then when the match starts, they'll magically teleport, and the first move they do is just going to look so awful and janky because the game was just coming out of a glitch. So yeah, those are things, just some jank in the game, but the recent patch did break the export function of MyRise, and it did kill any modded arenas. I think it even messes with any created arenas with excessive textures. Because I noticed my WrestleMania 39 arena that I downloaded probably like a couple of weeks ago. It messed up those textures. It messed up any textures. It even messed up my in-game, textures that I put on my arena. So you need to be aware of that. I notice it only concerns textures in the arena and around the barricades. Like if you have textures on the stage and things like that, it doesn't affect them too much. The patch hasn't messed those up. But anything around in the arena or around the arena, the recent patch basically fucked up. I'm just gonna say it is what it is. It messed them up. One YouTuber I watched said, you're gonna have to delete all your created arenas and build them from scratch, because if you try to re-edit them, it's still screwed up. I had to learn that the hard way, but I'm like, I don't feel like going through and remaking my created arenas. Plus, I'm pretty sure I could remake my created arenas pretty easily. They're not that hard. I don't spend too long creating arenas. But see, like I said, if you notice that texture, if you notice on the barricade, all the textures, they're pretty large sizes, except for that one in the middle. It got shrunk. It shrunk. So yeah, the mod will mess up any textures or logos you use. Like in any created arena you downloaded previously, it will mess some of them up. But I think somebody, I think creator Jenna, she re-uploaded this arena with better textures or whatever. So I'm going to download that and see. Well, first I got to find it. It probably got buried into whatever. See if she saved it as an arena or a show. Let me see if she saved it as a show. Hopefully she did, or they did, he did. Community creation still have some crazy loading times. I noticed since my Wi-Fi's been wonky, some of the loading times are longer than others, and other times my Wi-Fi will be on full tilt and the loading times will still be ridiculous. Alright, let's see if I can find it. Is this person? Probably not. And then when you back out, you gotta go through those long loading times again. Man, these loading times take forever. Let me see if I can search this person. I hate the whole search function because you got to be very specific in how you type a person's tag or whatever, and then you also got to be specific in what thing you got to find it in. It's like sometimes I'll require like a hashtag in front of it and things like that to search for certain creators and things like that. And if you don't put it right, you're gonna get, we can't find content from this person. And you're like, man, how do I find this crap? I'm gonna be mad if I gotta spend all this time waiting for this long loading screen and then I'll say, nope, didn't find shit. Alright, so okay, what's the status? Probably tag that person. So it's more what's the status stuff. World's finest. Another creator you should probably okay, I think I found them. Now I just gotta go to their content. I think I only got it set for superstars. Let's go to content by creator. Long loading times again. Alright, so there it is. WrestleMania 39 Arena. They uploaded it yesterday. Got quite a few downloads. Alright, let's see what this arena looks like. Looks a lot more detailed. Now let's see if these logos hold up. Taking forever to download though. I think my Wi-Fi is just shitty today. Still going. Jeez. Loading times are ridiculous. All right. Hopefully they made it already a show. I don't have to make it a show and go through the whole process of making it a show. Because I think as soon as I try to go through the process of making a show is when the whole mod or whatever breaks down. But nope, well, I'm gonna have to make it a show. Ugh. I am a firm believer in if you're going to do shit. Alright, so, okay, where did it get downloaded to? Huh. Okay. I'm gonna be mad. Where is it? Oh, let me go to arenas first. I'm tripping. Okay, so I gotta go to new arena. Well, edit an arena and then convert it to a show. See, that's what sucks. I'm still brain dead, and this loading times are just really annoying me right now. Ugh, loading times. Alright. Okay, so there it is. So let me go to see if I can access it in the show. I think I selected edit. Let me try new. Yeah, I think I selected edit. That's why I didn't get listed. Yeah, I'm tripping, y'all. Tripping. Alright, So I'm just gonna pop it in there. Call it WM39 so that way it doesn't get confused with the other one. Save it. Alright, let's see what it do. This so that way I can see if everything is intact. Because I believe this arena used all in-game assets, so it doesn't have no excessive mods, just textures. So far the textures look fine. Wow, looks really good.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing Les Femme Fatales from Osaka, Japan.
This person probably had to recreate this arena though.
Matches like these, with talent of this caliber, this is why sports entertainment is in our form.
Yeah, it's a whole different one compared to the other one I downloaded. It actually does look like the arena in LA.
This is a match she has long been asking for. She is more than ready to compete tonight.
You know what? I think wrestling games would be better off if they did gaming as a service. Sort of like what fighting games are doing now, where, you know, Street Fighter V, they released the game, and then they just supported it for 5 years with extra characters and stuff, because all this really is, you can keep the same graphical engine, but just update the roster, you know, and make it to where you can either buy the characters or you can play the game for an insane amount of time and unlock all the shit for free. I will give Capcom that. It's like you didn't have to pay a dime for any of the DLC, you know, the characters that got added to the season, but you had to play the game religiously to build up the points to unlock those extra characters. So far the textures look fine. Like I said, they probably recreated, they probably had it. No, look at the floor. Yeah, perfect example is the floor. Yeah, created arenas is still busted. It's still, yeah. If you look over by the barricades, yeah, over by the corners, you can see it bleeding into the mat. It's bleeding into the mat, folks. So yeah. So yeah, created arenas still busted. Still busted. So it just proves what I've been saying for the past couple of years now concerning 2K. You know, this game is still busted on the the engine they broke in 2K8 and 2K20 when they made 2K20. They used 2K18 when they developed 2K20, and then they just totally busted the engine because, like I said, Ukes wasn't developed. Ukes took the finalized engine that was used for 2K19 with them when they left, when they stopped developing the game. So yeah, Visual Concepts broke the engine, and they've been building on top of broken code for the last 2 games. 2K22 and 2K23 was built on busted code. They broke the creation suite, the code in the creation suite. Like, the in-game gameplay is perfectly fine. The in-game gameplay is fine. It's good. But creation suite, busted code. They broke it. They broke it when they added in they shit on top of the engine. And it's something that they fix the code internally. It's not something they can't keep building on top of this busted engine, because you're going to have to patch the same issues in every new game, unless they decide to fix the issues in development. They try to, because 2K23 for the most part has functioned fairly well. I've had crashes, don't get me wrong. I had crashes, quite a few crashes while playing the game. I had one infinite node glitch, only once, surprisingly, and create a wrestler. The game crashed on me using the video editor. It crashed on me, a victory, but that's because I chose a victory motion that automatically crashed the game. The game crashed during a match, but that's because the camera would bug out and go further away from the arena, which is obviously a bug. But I decided to continue the match, and the game crashed. The game crashed on me in the advanced entrance editor. The game crashed on me on day 1 in community creations, trying to go to online with that whole thing. And they patched that. So this game is a little bit more stable than 2K22 was, but it does suffer from some of the same issues that 2K22 had. But it follows the same formula. They'll patch something, and then the patch will break other things. That's the typical. It's been that way since the 360 PS3 era of the SmackDown vs. Raw games, and this is a continuation of the SmackDown vs. Raw series. So you should expect the same amount of bullshit when it comes to patches. So I'm going to end this live stream because my controller is about to die. For those of you guys who stopped in and watched, thanks for watching. For those of you guys who watch later, thanks for watching. Stay safe. God bless.